of practice. I work with Gold Gate Certified Public Accountants, and that is my audit firm. The other things I do as part of my extension, I sit on the board of Cipla Quality Chemicals as the technical expert on audit. I'm the chairman of the Mengo Hospital, effective this year. Mengo Hospital, they have just changed their board. I sit on the board of AMREF Africa as also a technocrat on the financial analysis and audit side. Then I sit on the board of Palliative Care Association of Uganda, still in the same technical line, and many other. I'm a Rotarian for the last 15 years. It's one of the areas I put my passion, especially in sharing knowledge, but also giving back to society, making differences in society. I have participated in different levels of Rotary leadership that have grown me. My training is in certified public accountancy. My master's is in business management and planning. Then when I went ahead to add on the doctorate thing, it is in project planning and management and leadership levels. I've never been employed in my life. Yeah, I proudly say that. It is something I always want to share, the experiences of not being employed. I want us to not discuss those classroom issues. We need to discuss practical issues of life. You've not been employed, so what? You've been employed, so what? So that we share experiences of if you've been employed, what mistakes would you have avoided? I prepared some little, I thought I would do PowerPoint presentation, but I think maybe next time we shall do it better. I want to first comment on George's introduction. I like your introduction, George. You see, when George was introducing himself, his introduction was having a big beef of what he does, and he came with his product. Now, he talks about his product, he has forgotten about George. The rest of us talked about what we do, but he came with a product. It is a good introduction that you blow your trumpet. You know, they always tell us in Africa, don't you blow your trumpet. But if you went to the US, they have their vuvuzelas, they are blowing it. Don't be deceived. Get your trumpet and blow it and say, okay, this is what I do. So I like your introduction, George. Yeah. I have experience of 22 years working with financial institutions as their consultant in debt management, business analysis, and managing capital. So it is one of the areas I enjoy, and it's one of the things I want to share with you today, because we are looking for capital. You want to manage it, you want to do business, you want to manage it, you want to retire. I always tell my other colleagues that retirement starts the first day you're going to work. If you cannot retire that very day you're going to work, you may not retire. You may live into wishful thoughts future. How do I start this discussion? I normally start with a life quantum discussion. Life quantum, we have different age groups. Momo shared with me the age groups we have. When you are between 20 to 30, you are either handsome or you are beautiful. Now in that age, you are able to make mistakes. Like even in that age, when you get a wound, it is easy to heal. You are able to make mistakes and they are easy to correct. You have time to correct the mistakes. You are going clubbing. Parents are talking to you. You say, these ones are just outdated. I mean, you feel you're on top. That's when you make the mistakes and you are correcting them. You can catch up anytime. You can do a course. When it is a bad course, you do another one. Between 30 to 40, it is an age of trials. It is an age of overtrading. You want to have a border, you want to have a salon, you want to do farming, you want to do pancakes, you want so many things at the same time. when you're coming towards 40, each of those overtrading businesses starts going off by themselves. Not that you say, let this go. Because your passion, your purpose is being driven towards life begins at 40. I hear that's the old age. Now the life is not being born. The life is facing the reality. You clock 40, you say, okay, my children, how are they going to? You clock 40, okay, how is my income? You clock 40, okay, I have patience. It's when you start getting the responsibility. So you start getting closer to the realities of life, and whatever you've been doing as overtrading, they all start falling off, and you almost remain with one. 40 to 50, you are supposed to be, we always say, able. Somebody calls and says, I have a party. You don't start saying, you see, you know, let me go and first ask my wife. That's what men normally say. But let me first go and ask my wife, then we shall give a feedback. It takes no end. Then the other one, you see, you know, we are going for burial. How many are we going? Do you have a car? Can we get one car? You should be in that bracket where you say, okay, so and so, someone, okay, driver, or maybe you drive yourself. You go. No negotiation to go and help your colleague, your friend. You are in that bracket of 40. 50 plus, you're supposed to be wise. Giving counsel to now, the 20s, the 30s, it is the age of wisdom. It is the age where you're supposed to be sharing knowledge. It is the age where you are proud to say, okay, I'm in a church and this is what I'm able to give in terms of my brain. I'm in a Rotary, I'm in the LC one, and you're able to be sharing knowledge as per your age bracket. Now when you clock 60 plus going up, you're supposed to be younger. Yeah. You become younger. Love yourself. Hey, jump, go to the beach. Yes, be younger. Because you see, if you don't feel you're younger, you will feel disappointed, you will feel distressed. That's when you come and you find, you come and greet mom and says, others can manage me, I don't. The words that come out of the mouth, they start becoming toxic words. 60 plus, you're supposed to be younger. 60 plus, you're supposed, you don't need to have worries. You are supposed to be in a transition of just, it can, even if it is one level, because there is nothing much that you need. You put on one dress, one shirt, one trouser, one shoe at a go. So it is one dress, one shirt, just one at a go. So in that age, you may quote me, but I always say it is not advisable to start a new business. Because you are competing with somebody who is in the 40s. Doing the same business. So the dynamics of business at that age vis-a-vis somebody, you are in the same business environment with the 40s, even the 30s, even the 50s. By the time your business catches up to say, okay, it is the one, you are 70. By the time you say, okay, I can also get some little coin out of it, you are almost 80. Now, these are the dynamics of developing countries that you live in. So, I've seen them. Unfortunately, you start a business at 60 with debt. It has to be paid back. The dynamics of getting that money to be paid back to the bank or to wherever it has come from are completely different. At 60, I wake up at 5, January to January. I sleep late. I can still afford that. But when you clock that age, the times of waking up also change. The times of thoughts, even the technologies change. So it is not advisable. But you find it like that because we are in developing economies. Now, people come and start giving examples. KFC started at 75. And that is just one person in millions of people. They say, no. Our friend in the village started at 50, 60 years. What is the population? That sample space is very small. So those examples, I don't always advise to use them. That's why I started at an old age, because the sample space you are using, you are talking about 3 people out of 200 people. That sample space is so small to do comparison. So that is the age quantum. From that age quantum, you can guess where you fall, so that you avoid mistakes, so that you now start looking at what can I do within my age bracket. Vis-a-vis, one dress, one shirt, you don't need much. You may need, but does it make sense at a particular age? At my age, I may, because I'm still ambitious. I want to have this, I want to have this. You find 10 free cars in the compound, but you reach somewhere. I visited someone, you know the person, I don't want to mention the name, yesterday evening in Bugorovi. So I found 4 or 5 cars, they are parked there. The people are 2 at home, the children have all left. The house is as big as itself. Now, crossing to the discussion, when we were crossing, says, Timothy, are you able to get us a tenant for this house? We have a farm somewhere in place X, we have a small farmhouse. We can go there and remain there. The house is so big, we are only 2 in the home. Are we able to get? Now, I'm looking for an NGO to help them to occupy the house. Now, those are things you need to plan earlier, not now. The house valuation was around 4.6 billion. It's seated in the house. Now, one of the discussions we had is no cash flow. Yeah, they don't have cash flow. Now, why am I using that? It's a live example of the person. Most of you know the person, so I may not mention the name. So the dynamics of when they built the house was self-satisfaction. Yeah, I can have this house just to be satisfied. But time has hit. The guy he mentioned his age, 73 years, and the lady is just slightly 8 years. Yeah. So the dynamics of life are in now. I have properties, I don't have cash flow. They used to be employed, so there are those mistakes employees make by focusing on employment. And they don't know that the day you get the job is the same day you should think about getting your exit. Vis-a-vis the age, it is very important, ladies and gentlemen, to look at your age bracket, to look at the age group, because there are mistakes you need to avoid at a particular age. Unfortunately, when if you meet like a person X, person Y, and you want to ask, let's say, Momo, about the flowers, Momo will tell you only good things about
the flower.
It's very unfortunate. He'll tell you the best things about the flowers. So you get out when you're very excited. You get out knowing, okay, I'm the next billionaire. It's very unfortunate. Now, when you're making research about the next venture or a venture you want to do, first look for people who failed. Look for failures first. After the failures, now you go to, the last part, you go to those who are in a success mode. Otherwise, the Africaniste in ourselves, we want to tell you the best things. Yet you find somebody's driving a house, it's a good one, its consumption is good, but he's in the garage every day. And he's selling it. So those are the dynamics of how, if you want to do a venture, start with someone who has failed. I wanted to do farming at one time, and with due respect, the first person I started with is a person still, I have a feeling, was Honorable Cheke, who had a farm this other side, and the farm had its own issues. So I had to go and ask Honorable what went wrong
In the
family. So after asking what went wrong, I ended with whatever I went through, I ended with, yes sir, to know what is going right. Otherwise, if you only listen to the best things, your little resources will all be depleted, your time will be depleted, you'll get stressed and you'll hate yourself. Now, there is a very important part that we normally forget when we are doing investments. the biggest part you need to know is the economy you are operating in. Don't put this. Now, if you cannot detect the economy you are operating in, you'll just go there vagrantly and you'll burn your fingers. Now, the other thing is the personality of you who is doing the business, who is managing your finances. You want to get the best. Probably you want to get the best income. But there is a two T that you are avoiding. The first two is quantity. You want supply flowers, I want 20 flowers, you are giving me 8. You want to start a business, you say, okay, I want to start a business, start earning. But it is important to know, am I able to give out the quality of the output? Then the time. It's the time I start from us here. I am so used that when it is time, I'm there. But you saw how the time we came, most of us. Start from now. The same thing you've done here, you are doing it in your home, you are doing it when you're supplying, you are doing it when you are meeting someone. But you remember the person you are meeting at particular time X is also going to meet another one, the next after 1 hour probably. So it is a personality within you yourself, the quantity, the quality, and the time. Now, as you look at the quantity, the quality, and the time, I always add on, don't look for money. Let money look for you. I want you to note this. Don't look for money, let money look for you. It has worked for me, and I enjoy it. Yes, it has worked for me, and I enjoy it. Give quality, give quantity, do it timely. They will call you the following day. So when you start looking for money, you'll compromise on quality, you'll compromise on so many things. You'll compromise on so many things. Don't look for money. Even when you're going, like, sorry, I don't know, you correct me. Momo does her work with passion. So then, incidentally, by accident, with the passion, the money comes. She likes what she does. If you say I'm looking for money, you'll find that she's dissecting a flower, which would have been probably 2 units to go. She'll get like 5 out of them. Now it will take when you take all those, it will take ages for such a flower to come out, and you don't come back. Yeah, you don't come back. So they are simple, small things you need to look at. Don't look at things that we read in books. The things that you've met in offices, let these things be part of you. To be successful, to manage your finances, to manage your businesses, to start your business, let it be with you. Somebody says, I want to start a business, I'm looking for capital. But always start with me, or you can even start with yourself. Did you have capital when you started your business? No. What are those small attributes? This gentleman or this gentle lady wants to start a business with 100 million. Where do you get it from? The first thing, I started my first business with 290,000 Uganda shillings, and that was a payphone. I get the money to buy a payphone. I don't have money for the rent. I moved majestically. It was in Itinda some years back. There was a kiosk closed. I looked for the owner. I went to the museum. I said, please give me this kiosk. At the end of the month, I'll pay you. Now that comes from self-esteem. Are you able? Do you have the power of asking? It's another word you need to pick from here. The power of asking. You ask, they refuse to give you, but ask. Have you committed any crime? Muse gave it to me. I worked end of month. When I went to pay, he said, you're very... So the dynamics have changed. First go to the negative part of the dynamics and get to know what has changed. Do I go for buses? Because you're seeing there is no any company now that has marital buses. Things have changed. What am I trying to emphasize? First, know the dynamics that have changed in the economy. In that particular business you want to go to. How you make that particular bad research. You want to buy a border, okay. Border borders at one time, there used to be an item. But I want to say that now borders is those small things. Personally, I always get a chance to go on them, but also being in the financial institutions as a consultant, almost every business in this country have interacted with it. And almost the tall, the short, the small, the what, I've interacted with them, including yours. I've interacted with it, including those you see in the papers that so and so borrowed the money and doesn't want to pay. Quite often I'm a consultant on those projects. Budget before you earn. Now I tell people that you budget before you get that money. And now this person asks, how do you budget when you haven't earned? I just want to get to know from you guys. What do you think? What is that feel that you feel that you should budget or spend before you earn? What would you think to spend before you earn?
In business or personal?
It is business, personal, they are all on you.
Okay, as human beings, we need the basics. Food, shelter mainly, clothing I don't mind because like you said, you can wear one dress, one shirt, but mainly it is food, utility, water. That one, whether you like it or not, you have to spend on it.
Spend before you earn. If you have a source of income and your income is only 2 million, if you have a laptop, sit, put your budget before it comes.
Okay.
If you don't have a laptop, get a paper and pen. Radios, and you can even take a week, by the way, looking at your budget. You have those who demand you have. Now, in so doing, you're spending before the money. But if it came in today and Timothy calls and say, "Oh, I've lost my uncle, I'm going," you just pick a 50,000 and
you can even get 500,000 because you have to.
Exactly, say, Timothy was there for me when I lost so and so. Oh, when I had business.
You spend it.
But if you guys, you have put your budget down,
you will not spend that money.
Let me tell you, by the time you conclude your budget, before that money comes, you've gone through a lot. Emotional, foregoing so many things, through a lot. Timothy's losing someone was not on your budget. So you will have to use an extra sense of finding where that Timothy's contribution should come from. You will not, because you see, you've already put it, and you've even already called James that please your money which I had to 100,000 on Saturday, come and pick it. You cannot go to James and say I've reduced it to 50,000 because your word has to keep your word. You've already put it and said, okay, I was supposed to buy this, I have to buy it. You even deposited on it. So it is very important to spend before you earn. Make sure you stick to your budget. I talk from experience. Now you have your budget. I will make my budget. It is there. I go screening. By the time I get, if I'm expecting some money, big or small, I make sure I have a budget. Then I start if he was expecting 10 million and maybe it has reduced to 7, now I go back and pray with it. If you're not on my budget,
then
ladies and gentlemen, you are not a priority. Now it is giving me something else to just remind you. We make just simple personal mistakes, but we don't give them value, and we start saying, oh, business ya Ghana, when the problems are within ourselves. Now, when I make my day's program, I will put people to call, I will put people to send a mail, then I will put others. There are even those I send a message. If you are not on my list, you are not there. I will say call, mail, message. If you are not there, probably you have come in during the day and I can't avoid you. That's why if you've not done this, the following day you say, Momo, I forgot to call you. When she was even important, you will be there the following day and say, Fiona, I didn't call you. And you have not done the other the time we talked about. So schedule yourself in your own lifestyle. People, if he is not on your call list, probably it's not, even if it is 2 people or 1 person, it's okay. If it is not in your message list, because there are those you feel you don't want to spend your breath talking to them, you can send a message and the communication has gone. But there are those which you feel, okay, I can send a mail, I want to put this other, just put them into your program. If it is daily, put it. Otherwise, doing impulse programming, communication, it is also part of financial management.
If you don't know where you are going in the road,
Very good.
This one will divert you, another one will. The whole day is gone.
The whole day is gone completely. When I'm going to the village, I normally go to the village. I write down the people I have to see. If you are not on my list, I go for a purpose. Now, remember, us who come from villages, maybe for you, maybe coming from towns, us who come from villages, when you reach there, probably you leave a 20 somewhere. So if that person, I'll put him or her on the list, probably I may attach something I want to leave there. If it is not on my budget, they will not get it because I will not go there. Otherwise, you go in the village, you have your 1 million.
You will go.
Financial management. We make small mistakes. I can never, I have not in the most recent enough years gone to the village without a budget typed. Because I will go to James, I will go to Peter. Clear. It starts with you as a person. Now, whatever I'm doing on the person level is all that money comes from my business. It's on a business level. I talked to some lady yesterday and says, I want to pay my landlord 6 months because me, I'm disciplined. Now I ask, why do you want to give your capital to a landlord? Because you are disciplined. So what is that? If the policy is 2 months or 3 months, stick to the policy. Here, discipline doesn't work. What works now is focusing on your budget and the management of cash flows. The one way of borrowing is using the available resources. One of them is like that rent. You pay 6 months, she pays 33 million. That's 18 million. How? 1 month is enough, but the thing, pay it in time. So they will say, good, sasula mulungi, at the end of the month, the sentence is not yours. You wake up, start a business today, before you leave in the evening, you go to the counter and say, you've just put in capital. You are now using transport. It is something
and even it is borrowed money.
It is borrowed money, whether borrowed or what, but remember it is capital.
It is capital.
Then by the time you see Timothy comes and you there, Angel is there, Win is there, but where's soda? You've received the guests. You have given them soda. So I always say, when you start something, give it a 6 month span, monitoring it, extend to another 6 months. It's not
then
your money.
You
will start saying, sindikira airtime, sina airtime kusimu, you road for me, nterako mobile money. Guy, that is gone because it becomes a spirit in you that you are taking capital. You know people complain that even us here, I started my business, it collapsed. Because the very first day you were there, when you're moving to border, you picked the 10,000. How have you been surviving before you started it? Survive in your old mode. First give it time. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Somebody comes from the village and you want to buy sodas. Use your own money. She talks about moving with money. I don't have an ATM intentionally. Clean. Clean.
Visa card.
The Visa card, I have it because of dollar. I may have those international transactions. It's strictly international transactions. Now I've seen my friends, he reaches a petrol station because he has a card. He sits at the Cafe Javas because he has a card, and he will be 4 or 5. These are facts, guys. These are real facts.
It's the truth.
Now, I have an account in Stanbic, and I told them I don't use online banking. It has a lot of temptations. So, by the time I think a lot of going there, over counter, it takes me another 2-3 weeks. It's this.
You even go and find a line and then you give up just another.
So me, why I tell him is because of just being an insider. I will go to the manager, bring me there. But it takes me to go there, guys. You can take another 2-3 days to go there. That's part of discipline, personal discipline.
Don't see the money. Just
I
hide
can
it.
see it. That is personal discipline. You will see you are here coming to know about financial management. But the challenges that bring financial mismanagement costs. You know, sometimes the Africaniste, you feel operating in Uganda, you have to go in the middle of Kampala. That's the Africaniste. You're an African and you feel you have to be in a car, drive, look for parking. Also, you're paying for the parking. You are Africaniste. The time to the first marketeer of your business is you. Even if you sit in your car, you can market your business. When you sit in your bed, you can market your business. Go to the business startups, how you make them. Business startups, it starts with you, the decision you make. You can rank 5 businesses, you pick one. You can rank 10 businesses, you pick one. But sometimes because of anxiety, because of the big picture of what you feel you want to own in a short period of time, you're picking more than one. It's just wishful thoughts. You wake up in the morning and you say, okay, there's a supermarket. You don't know what that supermarket goes through. And now Ugandans want to get those things on the slope that are always available. It's what they want to venture in. You can bring in your unique perspective of you. There are very few people who deal in what you deal in. But where you have passion, the first thing is passion. Because even when you have passion in something, even when it is almost going wrong, you remain in it. It's very hard to get out of something you love. Like me, I love what I do. I can't be convinced to do it. I've done the rest. I'm in farming, but I don't give it time. Now, the other mistakes that we always find us doing is Timothy will find he has started, let's say, a supermarket somewhere. The money for the supermarket has come from my audit firm. Now, I end up giving less time to the audit firm and I'm in the supermarket. Remember, the money came from?
The audit. From the audit.
Now, this is the parent of the rest of what you're doing. Even the house, maybe you're in, the car you're driving, but you're giving it less time. So prioritize, give time to where the parent source of capital is. Close your eyes and say, okay, this has been the brainchild from all my life, and yes, you've started another one, it is doing well, but the very first parent is supposed to remain with its priority. I've seen them. Somebody's in Ichikubo, a very small shop, he starts a supermarket, upscale. He closes there, but that supermarket has been started by, it's something you may not put attention on, but the parent of that business. But I've also seen others live there. Original businesses there. And they are there. Retire early, retire young, retire able. Retire early, retire young, retire able.
We have Gouda, she wants to retire.
That's why I had to put it here.
And
I don't know whether
retired.
I don't know whether the retire early is still applicable.
It's not there.
I don't know whether retire young is still there. We may now focus on retire able, but also for purposes of other benefits. Retire early, retire young, retire able. Retire able Another one would say retire rich. Richness can be at the heart. Exactly. Richness can be property. Richness can be. So it is retire early, retire young, retire rich.
The heart without capital or any income.
That is what we are going to now discuss.
How do we manage that process?
How do you manage that process? How do you manage? Now, if you want to focus on retirement, don't live a day after day. If you say, let me give an example. If you, let's say you are 40 years old, start from your old age, let's say 60, coming backwards. The unfortunate part, I want to be very, very, very careful on this. The unfortunate part, somebody wants to say, in the next 2 years, I want to have, let's say, a car or a house rental. You should be saying that at 60 years, how will my life be? My children have all gone. Probably I'm with my husband or my wife, or I'm alone. Where will I be sleeping? Where will I be staying? What will be my source of income? List them, by the way. List them 60 years. How am I going to be feeding? Which church or which mosque will I be going to? It's very key. Because you need to be, how relevant will I be in society? The first motivator for you to have business, manage its finances, is how relevant are you going to be at 60 years? I don't always go beyond the 60 years. Because past 60, I told you clearly you should be a baby. Yeah, be a baby, be yourself, enjoy yourself. If you want a cup of tea, it's a slope, have it. If you want to go and visit, probably you want to visit Karen, go there, visit. It should be easy. So, how relevant am I in society at 60 years? How am I going to feed? How should I be putting on? How should I be looking? Should I look like an 80-year-old? You start it now. You start it at 40, you start it at 35, you start it at 45. It couldn't be late. Come back from 60, reach at 50. Remember, we have started from
60.
Don't start from behind going in front. Start from the other side. Now you say at 50, if you have children, gauge which classes they will be. Because it also determines the pace. If you have an investment you're target, I should have completed this. If you have a fixed deposit you want to make, say, okay, I want a fixed deposit of, let's say, 200 million, where do I get this? Start focus, because you are still in a productive age. I'm not saying that since we've reached at 60 plus, we're also going to discuss that. But for the benefits of those of us who are not yet there, start from the end, coming backwards. Start from the end, coming backwards. You also get examples from within. Don't go very far. Go to your LC1. See how those people are living in that age. Are they in a good life? So when I sold it and when I decided to sell it, I sat and did my scribbling. Fixed deposit. 16.2% per month. I had to negotiate using my insider dealing. 10 years. Some amount.
Yeah.
So every month, even when I say my farm is not there, I have an income.
At least you have something.
Clear, I have nothing to stress me, and I'm doing it when I'm still alive, when I can still drive, go somewhere. Now, I started with, if I'm 60 years, I can't develop this land. Why don't I benefit from it when I'm still energetic? Yes, I enjoy it. The balance, I bought a commercial plot somewhere. That maybe you can put something, which is also, I don't always advise those property things, but you can put something when you still have other sources of income to develop it. And I close. But the focus was, I need to benefit from my own when I'm still alive. Yes, when I'm still energetic. Otherwise, we are going to have attachments to your land where, your land where, your land where. You have attachments, you are 70 years.
And you're not going to develop it.
But you will find somebody also has land in Nakasongola. Now I come from Kabale. I jump all these districts. I have 200 acres in Nakasongola.
No.
5 years of unproductivity. Financial planning. It starts with you. It's just closer to you. It's not about going on Google and know what. No, it's on you. Now, as you, because I'm on retire early, retire young, retire rich. Now, as you're 40, let me use a 40 bracket schedule on what you want to have at 60, being your source of income. Scribble it down and work towards achieving it. You don't need much. You may say at 60, I only need, let's say, 20 million per month. If God chances you and you're lucky, you'll get some little bit of passive investment. You have had maybe some rentals or what. Rentals don't bring money. Don't ever be deceived that they bring money. No. It is where you put money and you find it then. Not that it will bring money as a profit, no. You just put it there that you will find it then. An average rental,
Sorry,
whether
say that again. You put it there and you find it.
at a particular time, I'll put money in a rental 2023, probably 10 years later, I am getting something small out of it. Not that I'm getting a
You're going to
profit.
get it immediately.
Not that I'm getting a profit, not that my money is coming back. No. The average time a rental breaks even for your money is 25 years. That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
To get that money back.
Now 25 years,
It takes some time.
the 25 years, the building you've renovated it, probably if it is 5 years, those are 5 times. You know the cost. Yes, the factual. In 25 years, the land after land, take this, after putting a building, the land does not, that place does not increase value. As long as you've constructed that place doesn't increase value. Let's use a sample. We use